Hola, I'm Marina Silva. This month kicks off Hispanic Heritage Month. It's a way to highlight the histories, contributions, and communities of those with Hispanic or Latino roots. We want to highlight those stories of Hoosiers making a difference in their community. And we begin our special at one IPS school where teachers are focused on helping kids expand their language skills from an early age. Inside Theodore Potter Elementary School, students spend half their day learning in Spanish, the other half English. Fifth grader Eliani has been in a dual language program since she was in kindergarten.
It feels good because when there's new students, some of them are only speak Spanish, so I could help them. I translate sometimes for them, or sometimes they only speak English and no Spanish, and I translate for them too. I just feel like helping people is the right thing to do, and if they're sometimes kindness, if you spread kindness, they come back to you.
Joseph Anton teaches math and science solely in Spanish. Anton taught in Spain for years before coming to the United States. He says it's really important for students to learn the language young.
A good tool for socializing. Then when we become adults, it's a huge tool to find a job with more possibilities. And it's another way to open your mind in a wider way.
Here at Theodore Potter Elementary School, they were the first public school to have a dual language program in Indiana. So here they serve kids from when they start in kindergarten all the way to 5th grade.
We have teachers that come from different countries as guest teachers to teach abroad, and then several that have chosen to stay and become Hoosiers.
The students come from all over the district to learn here.
We've had several students who, when the program began almost 20 years ago, seeing a family go all the way through, and it gives me goosebumps.
And once they finish 5th grade, they can continue in the dual language program at the middle school next door if they choose.
And tonight, Marina Silva introduces us to a local couple who came here all in hopes of a better life.
Meet Eduardo and Anthony, two refugees who made a home in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis feels like home to me.
Left Venezuela due to violence happening in the country. They were able to escape to Colombia until they were able to get into the Exodus refugee program to come here legally to the United States. They actually chose Indianapolis.
Most people in Indianapolis are from America, so we felt that it was a challenge and would allow us to be able to integrate better into the culture and how things work here in the country.
It's not an easy process to be able to come to the United States as a refugee legally. Cassandra Sanborn is the Director of Development at Exodus Refugee Center in Indy.
You're going to go through the most intense security screenings and medical checks that anyone goes through before they have a chance to come to the United States. And you're just going to wait until the government says it's your turn to be allowed to come to the U.S. You're going to wait for a long time.
For Anthony, that meant 7 years.
I left Venezuela in 2017, and when we were in Colombia, the doors opened for this program that would allow us to come to the U.S. as refugees.
And when they finally made it to the United States,
we flew from Bogota, Colombia to Houston and then here to Indianapolis. I distinctly remember being greeted by the cold. It was very brutally cold.
They have been able to start their new lives. The two were quickly able to get jobs. And now they want to help other refugees feel at home in the Hoosier state. In Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
In fact, Marina tells us that the couple now are working to help other Venezuelan refugees move here to Indianapolis.
Yeah, they're hoping to make their first meal in order to help them feel at home.
And if you didn't know, the celebration begins in the middle of the month like we're seeing now because September 15th marks the anniversary of the independence of 5 countries. It's Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. But here at home, the Indiana Historical Society is kicking things off with its first ever Hoosier Latino Festival. So this is a celebration of Latino history and culture in Indiana and the Midwest through music, food, education, and art. Like this eye-popping piece by mixed media artist Justin Favela that'll be on display. Every Tuesday and Saturday, there are free events that are highlighting different nationalities. Like tomorrow, you can stop by and listen to Peruvian flutist Carlos Torres or learn more about the Taino rock carving. So even though Hispanic Heritage Month starts in the middle of the month, it's still celebrated for the full 30 days, so until October 15th. And you can learn more about the events that are happening at the Indiana Historical Society at WTHR.com.
There's a growing need right now in the Latino community that has one Central Indiana organization doing what it can to help.
Our Karen Campbell shows us how one of their programs is giving teens the key to success.
So we have been serving the community for over 52 years in the areas of access to health and social services. We have a domestic violence program that helps women who are victims. We have comprehensive education programs for youth.
Mariana Lopez Owens, Director of Education Programs at La Plaza, says many more resources and programs happen behind these doors.
A lot of the students that we see are first generation, so the families who they come from, oftentimes, like the parents didn't graduate from high school.
But there is a program to help students succeed.
We just want you guys to be leaders and advocates for yourselves.
These students at Lawrence North High School are in the Tu Futuro program.
And the purpose of the Tu Futuro program is to help students learn about and prepare for college, but also to successfully navigate high school.
The program provides after-school workshops for high school students.
We see the same cohort of students every year. The program continues to serve Latino students, primarily low-income, first-generation students,
putting them on a path to success.
There is a payoff, at the end, where students are more successful, earning 3, 4, 5 times more than their parents ever did, like in that first job, and being able to contribute like 5, 10 times fold.
In Indianapolis, Karen Campbell, 13 News.
Lopez Owens says right now the program serves between 40 to 50 students at Lawrence North and Lawrence Central High School. Their goal is to reach even more Latino students. Well, it is a massive celebration to recognize a girl becoming a young woman. It happens on their 15th birthday and they're called quinceañeras. And the dresses worn on the big day can be extravagant.
That's right. For National Hispanic Heritage Month, we are highlighting an indie dress shop, attracting young shoppers from across state lines. Allison Gormley tells us what's the deal.
It's a day like no other.
Well, it's a series of events leading up to a girl's 15th birthday.
That's why 14-year-old Jasmine got the ball rolling early on her spring 2024 quinceañera.
I started planning last year.
And she needs to, because a dress like hers can take 6 months to square away.
I just thought this would be perfect.
Her dress is from Gilma's Boutique on the northwest side of Indy.
My sister got her dress here and my cousin.
Sophia also got her dress at Gilma's, blue with a lot of bling.
I feel pretty.
In fact, it's where a lot of girls get their quince dresses.
I have people from Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Open for 25 years, City of Flores named the shop after her mom.
I promised that I met her that don't worry about me, I'm going to be a success in this beautiful country because there's a lot.
And a success she's been. While all the quince dresses are known for the ball gown shape, her high-dollar dresses are known for their detail.
They go from, I would say, $800 to $3,500.
Families are also buying tiaras, bouquets, even matching dresses for a friend.
Is it their last toy?
The last toy, yes. Like this one, it's $165. And that one is $225.
And with that kind of money going into an event, it's important that no two girls are in the same dress.
I keep track what we're doing.
Ensuring each girl is the center of attention on the day she becomes a young woman. Now, because these dresses are so expensive, I asked, do you have rental programs? How do you get around an $1,800 price tag? And she said she looked into rentals and nobody was really that interested. They all wanted their own.
Yeah, a reflection of Mexican culture there. This is such a big day for a young woman. They are not playing around, clearly.
No.
Yeah.
I learned that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Really cool, Allison. Thanks.
So this is Mexico.
So this is Mexico, yes.
Inside Indy's Global Village Welcome Center, Elia James Sanchez can't help but beam as she shows off the many pieces of her Hispanic culture.
You know, everywhere you go, whether it's the south side of Indianapolis, whether it's the north side, the west side, or the east side, or even downtown, you can find our culture there somewhere.
Colorful examples of a Latino legacy that is just as vibrant all across Indianapolis. Latino families have found increasing success here, making their home in the crossroads of America. Central Indiana's Hispanic population continues to climb, growing by 500% over the last 20 years. Nearly 5,000 Hispanic-owned businesses generate more than $1 billion a year in revenue, according to the Indy Chamber.
You have like that immigrant spirit that wants to really, work hard, work the extra mile because they are, in this incredible country that's giving them that opportunity. And so they work that much harder to, be successful.
And you couldn't find a more perfect example than what happened during the pandemic. As businesses closed right and left, immigrant-owned restaurants here on the Northwest Side were also struggling. But amazingly, more new places opened than closed. So you actually gained 2 restaurants during the pandemic.
Yes, and that is an incredible story.
The restaurants survived by sharing employees.
If there was a day that one restaurant was down in employees, another restaurant would call and say, I have an incredibly busy day, is there any way I can borrow 2 of your employees? And then they would, go over to the other restaurant.
Is that symbolic of the Latino culture?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're very family oriented, and so we have a saying, mi casa es su casa, right? Everybody knows that saying, my home is your home. And so that's how we really feel about, the community.
A way of life that works well, particularly in Indiana, where we all pride ourselves in that Hoosier hospitality.
This is everybody's home, and so we all should work together to make it better.
Indianapolis has always felt as home for us.
Harrison Cardona recently moved back to the Hoosier State after 5 years in Houston. The Guatemalan pastor and his wife Elsa have been helping the community since 2007.
I get calls from pastors in the community. I need this, I need that. I don't have it, let me go get it. And so kind of like the resource guy, the guy that bridges between cultures.
Harrison works for the Daniel Initiative, a ministry for Indiana Family Institute. He was also a chaplain for 3 years with IMPD, connecting police with the Latino community.
And that's what we need in a community. All of us need to work together.
A few years ago, Harrison spent weeks helping with the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey in Houston. And most recently, he held a prayer vigil for the victims of the Greenwood Mall shooting, later visiting the family of 2 of the victims.
So I went to their house and I ministered to them. They were doing a lot of things for fundraisers, but I was privileged to just come to their place when they're needing something.
One day, Harrison hopes to open a multi-purpose building in the heart of Indianapolis, wanting a place where everyone is welcomed.
There's so many ministries doing a lot of things, and I am applauding them, but we need more.
And when it comes to celebrating Hispanics and Latinos, Harrison reminds Hoosiers it takes everyone.
It's the big picture that we all have to buy in, that it's not about me or you or them, but about us. And when we do that, we can make a difference.
This is probably where that work is greatest.
Maria Pimentel Gannon says that work involves helping Hispanic communities through faith and education. She's been involved with St. Monica Church on Indy's North Side for 4 decades.
I did not set out to say, okay, my goal in life is to work just with this population, because I've always helped anyone in need. But it seems that that's the way the Lord has been having me go.
She began volunteering at the church in the early 1980s.
So I just started getting involved with anything and everything that served the community.
She served on a number of boards and committees through the decades, helping to bridge gaps.
But it's tough with our families. Many of our families work 2 jobs. And so, and many of our families do not speak English. So the language is a barrier, the financial need is a barrier.
The pandemic was perhaps the most challenging time, as Pimentel Gannon has been there to help families through some difficult times.
We've lost quite a few people here, and very unexpectedly. And
she often helps those with needed resources.
When I go to interpret for a job, I don't just interpret for that appointment. You know, if they need something else, okay, here's the number you can call. And
it's a 24/7 commitment she's willing to make to help her community. And when she finds time, volunteering in the classroom.
I've been teaching because we're short-staffed. This is where we get everything ready for each of the, we call the teachers, Sunday school teachers, we call them catechists.
And when it comes to showing Hispanic pride,
we have what's called el grito, which is the shout, but it's when we celebrate the independence, which is the Mexican independence is September 16th. So it falls right in there with Hispanic Heritage Month.
It's a month-long celebration that gives her pride and joy.
Buenos días. Buenos días. When you step into Miss Lily Goico's classroom, it's easy to see why so many of our students say it's one of their favorite classes.
We have like maybe 10% of the population come here and they speak Spanish already.
Miss Goico teaches Spanish at Russo McClellan School number 91. Her walls and bookshelves have always been full of treats. This was my favorite book. Which one? This one? Yep. But it's now stocked even better thanks to new resources from Teachers Treasures.
Representation is a very powerful thing.
Teachers Treasures provides free school supplies for all Marion County teachers, but its new language library is especially helpful for teachers who teach students who don't speak English as a first language. Or like most of Miss Goico's students,
I barely know Spanish a lot, so I know more like English.
Miss Goico teaches every student at her school at least once a week.
Definitely the books. The books are really fun.
So the dozens of new books now at their fingertips come in handy every day, but especially as she's been teaching special lesson plans for the last 4 weeks.
Hispanic Heritage Month means to me a lot because I can be able to be myself and show everything I know about my culture, and my students take the information very well.
Can you name any Spanish-speaking country? Cuba? Colombia? Argentina? But even as Hispanic Heritage Month wraps up, Ms. Goico says she always wants her students carrying a little piece of her classroom home.
I just want to spark the fire in them so they can start doing more on their own.
In this class, it's all about the music. It moves you. This is Zumba, bringing Latin rhythms alive by fusing dance and exercise.
It was the Latin music that we grew up with, and the share of fitness and our passion dancing and our Latin music, it was the best perfect combination.
Jennifer Lopez and Mario Allen, both from Puerto Rico, became Zumba instructors nearly 16 years ago, bringing their passion for dance to Lifetime Fitness in Castleton.
Latin music is so lively. When I first moved here, you can hardly ever listen to Latin music anywhere. You know, radio stations nowhere to be found. It wasn't until I heard about this new class, like I said, 16 years ago, that was like, oh, there's this thing called Zumba, and I was like, this is my way to express myself.
Latin music's influence in America is huge through genres like salsa. And we can't forget reggaeton, cumbia, and merengue.
For Latin musicians, for them to make it to the U.S., they have to sing in English to break it to the U.S. market. Now they're breaking the U.S. market in Espanol.
Some artists who've made an impact in the American music scene?
Shakira, Daddy Yankee, Bad Bunny, you name it. There's Karol G, Raúl Alejandro, Rosalia, all these artists that are so huge right now, and a lot of the non-Spanish speaking people listen to it all the time.
It allows them to connect with their students and make an impact.
the confidence, the joyful, like you see that transformation. For me, that's worth it. That's why I do what I do.
Having the opportunity to share that type of music with a community that has hardly ever been exposed to it, it's just such a big moment.
A moment bringing joy to so many. Karen Campbell, 13 News.
Women are taking up the torch literally, and it's all thanks to the Latinas Welding Guild. The local nonprofit just got $143,000 this week from the United Way to help more women break barriers. Tonight, our Jenny Runovich catches up with a mother-daughter duo taking over this male-dominated field.
Every week, surrounded by steel and fire, mom and daughter, Maria and Maggie, are learning to manipulate metal. The heat, the speed, the skill to create a bond. Make no mistake, this is all new to them, to everyone in this class.
Zero. Yeah, we have no welding background.
But they're now changing the narrative of an industry, women becoming welders in a male-dominated field.
It's really empowering to know that it's mostly men in the field and you're a woman that's learning.
Oh my God, it's so good for me. My God, I have a job that any man can do, and I'm a woman and I'm doing it. So I feel like powerful.
That I wish I had someone there doing for me.
That spark is why Consuelo Lockhart founded the Latinas Welding Guild 4 years ago to mentor people just like herself. Lockhart is an artist born in Guatemala and raised by adoptive parents in Michigan. After earning her art degree, Lockhart went to school for welding, but she was the only woman in class, the only woman on the job, and the only Latina.
I wonder how many Latinas are actually in the welding industry, and I never saw any.
Here, she's surrounded by women and celebrates their culture. Those flags represent the countries of people who've completed the 10-week welding course, 73 so far, many of whom are now working as welders.
We really just want to help empower those women who have different backgrounds and really eliminate some of the barriers that they might have faced if they wanted to start a career.
As you grow outwards, you're going to gain a weld each time.
Jonathan is one of the instructors at the Indianapolis nonprofit. Here, there are income-based scholarships, no previous education requirement, no language or gender barriers.
Now, one thing you saw me do was move a little bit faster than
The focus is on safety, skill, and female confidence.
Now they get to see other women doing it, so it's not as intimidating, and they also know that it is possible to, complete it and do it.
Right now, women make up just about 5% of the welding workforce, and these women hope what they're learning here helps them scorch that glass ceiling.
I have to do something with my life and something that is challenging me,
Maria and Maggie plan to be the Guild's next success stories and add a new twist to a tradition in their own family.
My dad used to weld, my brother welds, but I never think about it. I never think about asking him, can you teach me or something? Until this great group. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
And when they join the workforce, it'll be a promise fulfilled to Consuelo Lockhart for lifting up women in welding.
Because you're the one who's doing all of this for Latinas, for women, not for just Latinas. And I'm going to make you very proud. I know that I can do it, and I will do it.
Mom and daughter breaking barriers and forging new careers together.